Alright guys, welcome back. In this video we are actually sending some data into our database. Alright guys, welcome back. So in this video we are actually gonna register our users on our form. So last video, as you guys remember, we were just grabbing all the data from here, from this form. Now we're gonna send it to the database. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, after I checked in here, after we grabbed all the values from our form, after we sanitize everything to make sure everything is fine, I'm gonna check if my user email is a valid user email. So I don't want to do this echo anymore. So what I'm gonna do in here now is I'm gonna start to create a statement. Okay, so I'm gonna do in here stmt. So this is just like a new variable. I could call it anything, but usually on PHP we call it statement. So what we do in here is statement equals to PDO. Okay, if you guys remember, this PDO is a variable that is coming from our connection. Okay, now this PDO, what we're gonna do is prepare, and this function in here, prepare, will allow you to do some sort of a MySQL query. Okay, do you guys remember that to connect from PHP to the MySQL database, you need to do some kind of MySQL statements in here? So what I want to do is select all. So to do all, I'm going to put this asterisk. So select all from users. If you guys don't remember, users is our table. Let's go back in here to our PHP MyAdmin, where we see all our databases. Our database is login project, and I have a table called users. Okay, so I want to grab everything, all the columns from my table users. Okay, and then I'm going to do where, and I'm going to put in here now where email is going to be equals to something. The email, if you guys remember, look, this is my column in here on the top. So I want to select all the columns from my users table where the email is equals to something. Is equals to what? This user email that someone is putting down in here. So instead of putting this value in here straight away, I'm going to put in here this question mark so we can use positional parameters. If you guys don't know about this, it's just a way that PHP makes sure that people don't do SQL injections on your code. Okay, this is all about security, guys. You can always, this is not part of this course, but you can always do a bit of research on how to prevent SQL injections, and this is one of them. So right now, what I'm gonna do after this, after I have this statement, I'm gonna do stmt, and I'm gonna do execute. I want to execute this statement. This is another function from PHP itself. So I'm gonna execute my statement in here, and instead of using this question mark in here, when you do the execute, you pass an empty array with the values that you want to pass in here. Okay, so what do I want to pass in here? I want to pass my user email from before. So I'm going to put in here my user email. And now, after I do this, I can create a new variable called total users, for example, equals to my statement, stmt, and then I'm going to do a row count. So basically, look, what I'm going to do in here is, at the moment, I'm just going to do in here an echo. Okay, echo total users. So I'm just going to explain you what's going to happen in here. Just going to put in here a break tag, and I'm going to put this. Okay, I'm going to put a break tag like this. So basically, let me explain what's going on in here. When I'm in here on my form, I'm submitting all these values from the username, from the user email, and from the password. If you guys remember, we are grabbing it in here on the top with these variables like I covered before. We are sanitizing all the data. Then I'm checking inside of this if statement, checking if my user email is valid. Okay, we already sanitized all the data from before, so we are all good. First of all, I'm creating a new variable called a statement. We usually call it like this in PHP. And what we're going to do is grab the PDO that we just created on our connection, and I'm going to prepare a MySQL statement. What this MySQL statement is, I'm going to select all the columns from my table's users where the email is going to be equals to something. I want to check first of all, when I'm trying to register someone, if there is already someone on my database with this email that they are just trying to register, because probably you have seen this somewhere already. When you are trying to register your email somewhere, if your email is already been registered there, you can't register again. So that's exactly what we are doing. I have this question mark in here because we are using positional parameters from PHP. You don't put the value in here straight away, like this user email. I'm just going to show you. This is all about security, guys, okay? You can do a bit more research into this if you would like, into these positional parameters. Now, how can I put the value in here? I can just run my statement and do an execute. When you do this execute function, you can actually pass an array with the values that you want. You will see later on that if you have more of these question marks, more of these positional parameters, you can put inside of this array more values. At the moment, we only have one. This user email is going to replace this question mark that you have in here. After you run this, I'm creating a new variable called total users. And total user is going to be equals to your statement that you just run in here from before. And we're going to run this row count. So if there is already someone in the database with this email, it will return as 1, for example, for these total users. If there is no one on the database with this email that you are trying to register, it's going to come up as 0. Okay, so let's try this out now. I'm going to go in here, put username Telmo Sampaio. I'm going to put this username is my username, and I'm going to press register. Okay, so at the moment we are going in here. Let me just see what's going on. I think I'm on the wrong place. Let me just see in here. We should be on the htdocs, and I think is login project. I'm on the wrong. Sorry guys, I was just doing. This one was like my other project that I just did before this. So I think it's login project. Let me go into register. I'm gonna do the same thing again. I'm gonna do, and look, I'm not sure if you guys can see, so I'll try to make some zoom. 0 on the top. So it means that you are trying to add this person inside of the database and there was nothing in there. Okay, so this is my... nothing still went to our database because we still didn't add anything. Okay, so let me just reset my zoom in here. Now, what I want to do is, after I did this, let me just comment these echo users. I'm just going to do this. If, okay, if my total users is greater than 0, okay, it means there is already someone on the database with this email that you are trying to register. I'm just going to do an echo, okay, and I'm going to say email already been taken. Okay, so I can just say email already been taken, and I can put just a break tag as well. Okay, so this, if my total users variable comes up as more than 0, greater than 0, it means there is something else in there. Else, what we're going to do is, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to do my SQL. Oops. So this SQL variable is just going to be like this statement. You could do straight away the same thing. So maybe we're going to do the same thing straight away. Okay, I'm going to create another statement. Okay. Look guys, I'm using the same name as up here, but it doesn't matter, okay? Because this statement, we just run it once. If you're going to run another statement now with the same name, you are just going to overwrite it. So that's all fine. But if you guys prefer to give it another name, like statement 2, is fine as well. Okay. So what I want to do in here is, I actually want to do a statement that says to insert things into my database. So the statement for that is, I'm going to do insert. By the way, guys, look, all these MySQL queries that we are doing usually is a good practice to write them on capital letters. So you know this is a SQL query in here. So I'm going to do an insert into users, which is our table. Okay. Insert into users. What do I want to insert into my users? Okay. I want to insert in here my user. Insert into users. This is the columns on my database. So let me check in here. On my users table, I'm going to go into structure. If you guys remember, look, we have a name, email, and password. This is all the things that we have, the names of our columns. So this is what I want to put in here. Insert into users, into the name, email, and password. Okay. These are my columns from the database. So what do I want to put inside of my database? I want to put some values, which I'm going to put in here. Values. Okay, I'm going to put some values. And what are the values that I want to put? I want to put these values that we just grabbed from our form. So I want to put username. Okay. Look, guys, this needs to be the same sequence. If I'm putting in here on my users table, on the name column on the database, I want to put my username that comes from my form. So it needs to be the same sequence. The second thing I'm going to put is my user email, this one up here. Okay, I'm going to put it like this. And the third one, I want to put the password. Okay. I'm going to put the password in here. So I need to put all these values. Let me see if I'm just forgetting about something in here. So I got my prepare statement. I think everything is fine. So let me just get rid of this statement too. Like I said, guys, you can use the same name because basically you are overwriting this that is in here on the top because it's already been done. So it doesn't matter if you're going to use the same name again or not. So after you do this, what you're going to do, you're going to do another statement to execute this. So to execute this, what we're going to do is statement execute. And now, look, these values in here, like I mentioned before, they should not be put in here directly because of security issues to prevent SQL injections. So what you can do, instead of having these values in here, I'm going to cut them off and I'm going to put a question mark. So the first value in here is the username. So I'm going to put in here on my execute. Inside of this array, look, there is an array in here, guys. Can you see? I'm just putting some spaces so you can see well. The first value, that question mark, is going to be my username. The second value is going to be what? The user email. So I'm just going to put another question mark in here. And the third value is going to be my password, which I'm going to grab. And I'm just going to put a question mark as well. Okay, so now that you execute this, this should actually go into your database. Okay, so let's just see if this is working first of all. So let me go in here, let me refresh my page. Sometimes when you refresh your page, it doesn't work well. Just click on the URL on the top and just press enter. I got some error on my line 22. Let me see, what do I have wrong? I think I forgot this semicolon in here from this echo. Sometimes if you miss some semicolon, it might give you something like this. Right, let me refresh. Let me put Telmo Sampaio. Let me put this email, which is my email. I'm going to put some password. And I think I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the password. Register. Okay. And now it doesn't show you anything at all. But hopefully we sent all our data into the database. Let's just refresh. Look, I'm inside of my users table. And now, if you click on the top browse, can you see my cursor? I have one person with the ID of 1, which is the first person that we are registering. We are having a name in here of Telmo Sampaio, which is my name that I just put on my form. And we have the email telmoasampaio@gmail.com. and we got the password. So all is working fine. Now, there is one problem in here. For security reasons, you should never store on your database the passwords of your users completely like this, without being encrypted, without being hashed. So that's what we're gonna do now. By the way, before we do this, let me just show you if I try to register again with this email, okay? Because we just covered this from before, okay? Let me do this. I'm gonna refresh my page. I'm gonna try to register again with the same email, and look what's gonna happen. I'm gonna press register, and on the top, look, I'm gonna do some zoom so you can see email already been taken. Of course, you guys can do some sort of other thing down here, which we will do later on. We can even do it now, I guess. So in here, we can put in here, so instead of doing this, yeah, I'm just gonna do in here, if total users equals greater than 0, I'm just gonna create a new variable called email taken. So this email taken is gonna say the same thing. So email already been taken. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this message in here. I'm gonna get rid of this echo for now. So remember guys, this only gets set up, this variable, if the total users is greater than 0, okay? So I'm gonna go down here and just under the user email, okay? Maybe just, that's fine, under the input. So where is it? My password, my user email. So in here, I'm just gonna put a break tag like this. And now I'm gonna put some PHP in here, PHP, and I'm gonna put a something saying like if message, where is it? If email taken, this is the variable. Okay, if this is true, okay, I'm gonna close this, and now I'm gonna put a paragraph, for example, with the message. So I'm gonna do PHP again. Okay, I'm gonna close my paragraph, and now I'm gonna close my if statement. So I'm gonna do PHP, I'm gonna close the if statement, and that's it. Now inside of this PHP, I'm just gonna do echo, and now I'm gonna do echo the email taken message. Okay, you guys can even style this much better than me after, for sure. So I'm gonna just refresh this. We got some error on line 52. So let me see. I put echo, but I didn't put echo of nothing. I want to put echo of this. Okay, let me just refresh the page again. Okay, there is email taken. So is on line 51. So instead of if, I'm just going to set if is set. Okay, so if is set. Now this should cover it. Okay, I'm going to try Telmo. I'm going to put some password. I'm going to do register. Look, email already been taken. So it looks a bit more professional. Okay, so you can even style this with some, I could put in here maybe like style, and I'm just gonna put background color reds, and I'm gonna put the color to be, let's find the color. Okay, I'm gonna try one more time just to see if this is a little bit better. But register, look, email already been taken. Let me just look, you can see the error straight away. Cool. Okay, now that we take care of this, you can go in here on the top and let's just hash our password. So how do we hash our password? I'm gonna go in here on the top, and let's go in here. After I sanitized my password, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call this password hashed. Password hashed, for example. I'm gonna put this equals to passwords hash. Okay, this is a function from PHP which will hash your password. Okay, so the first thing you want to put is your passwords. Okay, this variable that we just sanitized and everything, this is what I want to hash. Okay, and then I'm going to put in here the sort of hashing that I want to put in here. I want to put the default. Okay, so as you guys can see, I'm going to give you an example. Imagine that you have a safe at home. Okay, you have a safe at home where you can put your keys or your money or something. This safe is obviously like enough safety for you to have your money or something. Imagine that you put this safe inside of another safe, and that safe inside of another safe. So now you tell me, when is it secure enough? When is it inside of 10 safes or what? So it's the same thing in here for the password hashing. This password default is going to be how many rounds are we going to hash our password. So the password by default, if I'm not wrong, is like 10 rounds. So basically this is enough safety for our password. And as you can see, this will work fine in a second. Now this password that is already hashed, this is what I want to send to my database. Okay, so down here, when we are doing this statement of execute, instead of passing the regular password, I'm going to pass the password hashed. Okay, now all of these should be working fine. Let me just refresh my page. I'm going to register a different user, John, and I'm going to put in here john@email.com, and I'm going to put another password 123456. I'm going to register. Okay, and now if I go into my database, I'm going to refresh. I'm going to do some zoom. Probably you guys can see better. As you can see now, I have john@email, and look at the password now, all hashed. This is what we were looking for. Okay, so now even if someone gets access to our database, with hopefully not, because we are building it secure enough, nobody will manage to decrypt this password anymore. So that's it for this video, guys. We already learned how to register a user, how to make everything secure. So in the next video, we are actually going to learn how we can log in a user. One more thing I forgot to say, look, all the users that they register by default, they will have a role of guest. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the video, guys. I hope you like it, and I'll see you in the next one.